Me personally, I joined the Homeland Security degree my sophomore year, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. But you have courses on everything from counterterrorism to critical infrastructure protection. It really covers like a wide variety. And then I took the emergency preparedness course, and I kind of decided that's what I want to do. And then on top of that, it also offers you those internship opportunities where you can meet people and move on. Not only learn like real world experience, but also gain those contacts needed for success in the future.
Absolutely. Well, since you mentioned it here actively, Dr. Parker, if you will, talk to us a little bit about the Homeland Security, because I know that this program wasn't here when I was here.
Correct.
So it is a newer program. So tell us a little bit about the program here and what has occurred over the historic portion of its tenure and what you're looking for the future for this program.
Absolutely. So like I said, this is the 5th year of the program, and we've made some changes this year to encompass some of the changing nature of the program, making it much more interdisciplinary, because it really is an interdisciplinary degree. And so we have added requirement courses in cyber. There was already a requirement for emergency management, required courses in methodology and research, because the idea that you're going to work an EM or a 3-letter agency or law enforcement or whatever you want to do, you still have to have the research and writing skills in order to compile reports and do all of that. So taking what we saw maybe were some weaker aspects of the program and changing those to make it strong. Where do I see it going? Like I said, we are working on an emergency management minor that came out of the fact that we have so many students that are, as you can see, are very interested in emergency management. It's always one of the popular courses. It fills up every semester. There's a waiting list for it. And so bringing in some of the other communication skills, writing skills, exercise skills, and things like that would be necessary, I think it's really, really vital. I would like to see the program to continue to grow and expand to encompass, the awesome things that Campbell University has to offer for it. It is unique. It is the only 4-year degree program in the state of North Carolina that offers a bachelor's degree in Homeland Security. So we're very proud of that. We're very proud of the way that it is growing and continues to expand.
Absolutely, and I can tell you with Dr. Parker and I have known each other for several years now, and I don't give this stamp of approval very lightly, but I've been very impressed with what she had to take from and where she's taken it in the short time, and I personally look forward to seeing what it has to the future. So let me put Amani on the spot here for a second and see. So Amani, what was your favorite part of your time at Campbell in the Homeland Security program, and also what do you think that you learned the most? What was the biggest aha, this is amazing that I learned this?
I think one of my favorite parts about the Homeland Security program, or just being a part of it, is the different amount of classes you get to take. There's just a whole bunch of different things you learn about in those different classes. There's not just one class or just one thing you talk about. You get to learn about different agencies, different roles and responsibilities in those agencies. You also get to talk with the teachers about people that they know that work for those agencies. So I think that's really one of the best parts about it. You just get to learn about so many different things. I can't remember the second question.
Oh, that's fine. So what was the biggest, with your time at Campbell, what was the one thing that you just think you always remember learning here?
I can't remember which teacher told me, but one of the things I'll always remember learning is to just experience everything. Don't just single yourself out to doing one thing. And it's not just specifically with the Homeland Security program, it's with all the other programs as well. Just, put yourself out there, make yourself available. Don't, just say, hey, I'm just going to do this because I don't like doing that. Because you're never going to know what you're going to like until you put yourself into it and experience it. So I would say, don't limit yourself to just doing one thing.
Great. What about you, Scott?
I would 100% agree. I remember specifically one of my professors telling us that it's required to take an internship, but don't just take one. Take one your sophomore year, take one your junior year, and one your senior year. Like, put your stuff out there, get as much experience done as you can. I think that was pretty wise advice.
Well, and I think that's very important, and I know something Dr. Parker fully supports is, especially as you're trying to be competitive in terms of a person, and in terms of bettering yourself, being ready for a position in the workforce. Is that things that you heard, at least when I was coming up, was that, well, you got a degree but you have no experience, and so that those internships do something that really balance, and it's something that I think is important. Is yes, we don't discredit somebody for not having education or experience, but we try to help people to get the balance, so that way they have the education, which is an amazing foundation to which to build our house on, and then the experience is that. And so you can have all the experience you want, and if you don't have a good foundation, the house falls. Same way, if you sit there and have an amazing level of education, of experience, the other way, but if you don't have a good foundation to put on, it's going to fall and sink into the mud too. So there's that good balance. So tell us, Dr. Parker, what are some of the agencies that your students do internships with? That you just a handful of examples.
Sure. I mean, we've had anything from state, local, and federal student internships. Obviously, North Carolina Emergency Management, some of the counties in Harnett County, Johnston County Emergency Management, with the TSA, with the DEA, with U.S. Marshals, local agencies. The Red Cross. We have had students do it with FEMA before. So, I mean, across the board, the students are required to do an internship. And so, like as you're talking about, to build on that foundation where you want to have real world experience, but you also need the skills to build up to that. They do that between either their sophomore, junior, and senior year, where they've gotten some of those skills and now they're ready to go out in the field and see what it's really like. And so, I work with them to place them in whatever agency or field that they're interested in.
Absolutely. And it's a great way to not only the things we talk about, but it's also a great way to start getting those contacts. I mean, you got your school contacts, because we're going. I'm sitting in a class with Dr. Parker. I'm going to become close with her to understand and to be able to reach out when I have questions about school stuff. But it's that first good step of making those outside contacts. Too. I know that's stuff that helped me as well.
Well, and it's interesting, Gabe, that you said, that when you saw that Amani had this internship and you talked to the supervisor, that was a key thing for you. And one of the recruiting officers that I have come talk to the students that are interested in law enforcement says the same thing, that if he has two applications that are identical, but one has an internship and one doesn't, that internship is gold, because he can call that internship supervisor and ask, about how this student was in the real world work environment.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, when I talked to the fire chief in Wilson, and being the fact I'm a firefighter as well, that was one of the things that really got me, is when he started telling me things that she had done, that immediately told me, it's like, this is not, hey, go over there in the corner, read a few things, do a few things. This was, pretty heavy lifting stuff. And so I knew. And I can tell you that, Monty beat out people who had the experience and things like that. And some of it was because of the fact that I saw that as experience, and she had a good degree, that I know that, again, it kind of tried to even that playing field where we knew she had both aspects of it, which is, very important. Now, Monty, what do you think if you said one thing, other than the advice that you said just a minute ago, but with your time here at Campbell, what is the one thing that you think that was the thing that you felt that you learned the most? What if there was one topic, not like a something that somebody a word that they gave you or a sentence to help you out, but one part of a class or something. What was your favorite? What really sank in with you?
I think I would go with, and sorry if I screw this class up, It's one of Dr. Parker's classes, and I can't remember the name. It has something to do with all the agencies working together.
Interagency operations.
Yes, interagency operations. That was one of my favorite classes because I was able to see how each of agencies, local agencies, how the federal, local, state governments work together to make sure that everything is working properly, is run the right way, how they communicate with one another, just to make sure that we're safe, and that the government's doing what they're supposed to do. And it just helped me see how important this department actually is, because before I got to Campbell, I was gung-ho on being a physical therapist. But like I told you a lot of times before, that changed because I figured out that I did not like science. And so once I switched over to Homeland Security, it just opened my eyes to a whole lot of things, and it helped me learn that this field is very important. So.
That's okay, Amani. I was a dance major before 9/11, and 9/11 happened, and it totally switched my area of study. So, that's what college is about.
Well, I'm trying to think. I believe I started as a mass comm major here at Campbell, and I think I went to business and ended in government. So it was a little bit of a tour for me too. And
all about exploring your interests.
That's it.
I was IT until I figured out that I knew nothing about computers. So here I am.
That's good to now know after you started the internship. You were nowhere near that bad for sure. Well, tell us a little bit so far in your years. Scott, what is the one class or the one topic that's really come out to you?
Well, I would say overall in the Homeland Security field, one term that keeps coming up in like pretty much every class is terrorism. And I feel like, at this point I can give you there's 1,000 different definitions of it, but there's certain elements of it that are always true. I would say that, as well as what she said, the interagency operations, those two concepts keep coming back in pretty much every class that you take here. And it's pretty important to the major, I would say.
All right, now the question is, are y'all saying that just because Dr. Parker's sitting here with us, or
no? I mean,
Amani's already got her diploma.
That was really one of the only classes that I really remember everything from. So when you, and some of your questions that you asked me within the interview process, a lot of that came from interagency operations. So that's one of the classes that stuck with me the most, and of course emergency preparedness with Dr. Merrill. So
well, you mentioned that. Let's go back to your interview for a second. So for those of you that don't know, to be a quote-unquote smaller company, we have quite a robust application process, I would say. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Okay. So one of the things that we make candidates do is to give us a presentation, a 10 to 15 minute presentation. And I can tell you that Amani did a really good job on hers. But can you talk to us a little bit, Amani, about how doing stuff for Dr. Parker and other professors prepared you to be able to have that skill and that ability to do a good presentation in front of a group, especially a group of people that you don't know and are about to judge whether they want to give you a job or not?
Well, in most of all my classes in the Homeland Security Department, we had presentations all the time. And so I had no choice but to be prepared and equipped for the presentation that I had to give in the interview. And mainly, another one of your classes, senior seminar, we are required to give a 50-minute presentation. So, with that being said, I was good on the presentation part, but delivering the information correctly, I know Dr. Parker and a whole bunch of other professors make sure that you're okay with delivering your information, and to make sure that you're comfortable, and that if you're not ready, they make it so that they're available, that you can come talk to them about anything that you like. Even though I wasn't going to do that with you, because I should already know this stuff. I knew I could remember and go back to the days where I was presenting and just kind of remember how I would do in the time of a presentation. what I would need to do, if I needed